Are you serious? That was one of the worst performances I've seen from my Miami Dolphins. One of the biggest letdowns that I've had in a long, long time. It was ugly from the start. It was ugly throughout. If it wasn't for two plays, it would have been a blowout. If it wasn't for Christian Wilkins, this would have been a total blowout. And it shouldn't be. There was even everybody now is like, what's going on here? We were outcoached in a way that I've rarely seen. This was an absolute coaching mismatch. Both our defensive coaches and our offensive coaches laid a monstrous egg. I tip my hat to the Chargers staff. You're going to talk about Herbert and doing. This was a defeat before the battle even started, Sun Tzu, Art of War, because the Chargers staff knew what time it was, came in with a great game plan on both sides of the ball, and our staff was clueless. Clueless. This really was a stinger. It was such a critical game, and a lot of things I talked about last week replayed this week. Tehran being in helped in some regards and others it didn't. He's not Tehran. You could see it. He is hurting and he's gutting it out. And he's better than any tackle we got. But he's not the guy who did what he did for the first couple of weeks until he got that torn pectoral. This is very bad news. Very bad news. Our chances of a 2022 season would have been like 97% if we won tonight. It's down to 77. And I don't like the direction it's going. I really don't. And the problem that gets me is I'm a yutz. And a lot of things I've been talking about was seen on the film. I just don't know how did it take McDaniel almost into the second half to figure to run the football? I mean, then with all luck, Wilson goes down after a big run, and then it was bad, guys. This was such a disappointment. I totally trusted we could win this one. I mean, it didn't make any sense. They gave a 5.4 yards per carry to one of the worst run defenses, and we don't even run the football till the second half. It was depressing. Don't tell me about Tua. Did he have a great game? No. But did you see that coverage? It was like they knew the playbook. We might as well give them the call sheet. It would have been the same thing. They understand small receivers, be physical. We like to pass over the middle. We like to pass all day. I'm going to try to find some hope in here. I'm going to cover the game. I appreciate you stopping by. This is not happy times. This is real dire times. And there's no reason for it. Run the ball. Run the football. I guess you don't get called a genius if you run the football. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I really do. You guys make this channel go along with my sponsors. I'm a little depressed here. I really thought this was ours, man. I really did. Told the family. Everyone was like, what? You said they would have blown them out. Thank you for stopping by. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. Guys, I'm sorry. I got the stuff written here and I'm just furious. You just run the ball, man. Why don't we get on the center, run some inside zones, do a little play action? Why does everything have to be vertical all day, every game? It doesn't make any sense. I know we can do it, but if you do it and don't stop doing it, people are going to come up with an idea. This is the NFL. They're going to figure out something to limit you. Then you have an off game like tonight. I mean, look at this. First drive, that was a beautiful breakup. I mean, maybe it was a slight bit behind by two, but where did this guy come from? Number 32. And then Hill and Waddle both dropped the ball. 3 passes out the door. Play action, first play. How about instead of a play action on the first play deep, you just run the ball a couple of times. And then maybe they'll buy your play action. I mean, yeah, he's Hill. Then X is toast, man. X cannot play man coverage. He's hurting. He gave up so many plays today. Forget it. We're caught in 0, and we don't got corners for 0. We're getting beat. That was a beautiful play by that receiver. Big guy. Boyer, though, had struggles. Stopped him on the 4th. I was all right. Then Hill had a drop. Then there was a false start. 3rd and 15. And we got to go for 20. I mean, I thought there might have been somebody deep along the streak that Hill, Tua might have, try to hit. But how about we throw something short, run a screen, do something, a slant. Let's see if it breaks. If not, let's punt the ball. It just seems like we have very little adaptability and very, very little small toolkit. The toolkit is very, very small for us. It doesn't make any sense. Wilkins, unbelievable. He was all over. I mean, he was keeping us in the game that first part. I mean, sacks, pressures. He was down the field on a couple of them. Like 10, 15, 20 yards making tackles. I love Christian Wilkins. You got to keep this guy 1,000%. This guy is really grown into something special. Just loved him when we drafted him. Took him a little while to get going. Unbelievable player. Man, I tip my hat off to him. He's my man on defense. 1,000%. I love Holland, but man, Trench is my deal. Wilkins is unbelievable. That's a high point for us. And then there was a weird, did you see that when we first tried to run, it must have been like the second quarter, and they let all the linemen just release the defensive lineman in front of them and expect the tight end to come down and crack, and they just killed the running back. It was a terrible play design. I got to show you that. What are they doing? If that was a play design, somebody was high, and I'm hoping somebody screwed up because that was just a dumb play design. And then Hill doesn't. That was the 3 plays on his drive in the second quarter. You get this weird run where all offensive linemen release, and then Hill doesn't see the football. It was like a curse, man. It really felt like a curse. How did Hill not see that ball? He could have ran through that and probably got it. I couldn't. And then Teron gets beat by Van Noy. This was like somebody ate a bag of black cats. And then we got lucky, and, Wilson has the beautiful run, inside zone, letting Jones use his size to man up 5.4 yards per carry charges, and then he fumbles, and then Hill somehow gets I'm like, all right, man, maybe the black cats are gone. But teams are understanding. This is a beat up defense. They played phenomenal. But it wasn't just them playing phenomenal. They were coached, put in the right positions, and they could have had the call sheet. It was a brilliant idea, jamming guys off the line, playing man underneath, having the linebackers drop deep. I've been saying that for a while. Not everything, but the linebacker situation. We saw it with San Fran. Every time a defense plays us and there's something successful, these guys on defensive coordinators, they're not just watching the offense, they're watching their prior defenses. And they say, what worked, what didn't work? They're building up a kit to slow this thing down. And a lot of it has to do with, we don't run the football. Throw deep, that's our motto. Boyer, close out the half. He had a nice call with Phillips on the blitz and the sack. I'm like, all right. And then what does he do? He puts everybody in the end zone and they run a screen. He gets down to the 1 yard line and then they drive it in for the touchdown. It was depressing. If you track back over the last couple of weeks, you saw signs of this stuff and it's matured. Everybody has fault. It's a team win, team loss, no doubt. But it all trickles down from staff to the players. And the staff wet the bed. Man, light flashed. If you notice what they were doing, Bill did this in week 1. You know we love to run the play action rollouts. So you put a linebacker, DN on the side, and you do a sting blitz, and you just attack Tua. And then all of a sudden he comes out of his boot or his play action rollout, and he got a guy there, and you got to dump it off. That is part of the toolkit, clogging up the middle. We had no slants, poor route combinations, nothing short. Everything is going deep, or it's this like peripheral stuff. Which, okay, but at least we can hit the middle with the run game. But we don't. Phillips, see the sack he had with the spin? I saw him working on the beginning of the season. This is going to play big dividends. Phillips is coming into his own. Phillips and Wilkes. We got so much talent. How is this possible? How did we not get more pressure? This is insane. What did we get Chubb for? What is he doing? So that roughing the passer baloney by the refs. Are you kidding me? It was bad. But these refs, like I said, they suck. I mean, you saw Kohu with that hole in the middle. Imagine if that was our guy. These refs, there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them in the head. Because I don't understand how you can get these poor calls. Like even last week with Gesicki, the guy's right in front of him. He sees you look at the film. He never had the ball in his hand. It rolls out, and the guy goes, catch. And they got to go. That's another story. It's a story for another day. So we run the ball. We're starting to finally run the football. Tua has to scramble. He has a big 18-yard scramble. We get the bomb to Hill. That was a nice pass. 17-14. All right. So what happens then? X gets beat on the rollout. Again, Kohu misses the tackle, but then Kohu has that nice coverage. Got to kick the field goal. 20-14. All right? Run, Tua runs. Then Jones got beat. Sort of. He got the swim and the swipe, and Tua got lit up. There was nowhere for him to go. Protection. But again, the defenses know we're going to pass. We sit in shotgun all day. You have to have run diversity, look diversity, play diversity. You've got to attack every area of the field. We did that early on. I don't know what happened. Now it's deep, baby. Then we got the blitz. Then it was the intentional grounding. I couldn't do nothing, just throw it. I guess maybe we should have taken a sack. It was the same thing. But they had our number at that point. It was not going good. Mostert is just not Wilson on the inside. But the Chargers, all game long, they started out with balance. Eckler wasn't breaking big runs, but if you keep on running, you cause the defense to have to pay attention. If they got to look all over the place, they're going to get lost on occasion. But if they know you're just going to pass all day, it's a lot easier. Herbert had a great day. Considering, it wasn't like statistically great, but he managed it well. He was supported well with the run game. He was supported well with great coaching. I tip my hat off to the kid and the team. So, we almost win. Chargers drive down. We can't stop them. They run. They pass. Herbert has the big run. He fumbles it. We don't get it. We managed to get the ball one last time, get the field goal. The onside kick was so close. It would have been deserving if we had gotten that, though. We got the lucky play on Hill. We probably used up every bit of luck we had on that one. But I'm going to go back over this tape. It's mind-boggling that a defense gives up 5.4 yards per carry, and you don't run with any kind of consistency until the second half. Now, we can bounce back from this. I mean, you got to think long-term and short-term. McDaniel is a rookie head coach. The thing that concerns me, though, is you saw last week how you needed to run the football. And you didn't. 3rd and 2. And you pass and it gets deflected. And then you pass again with the one-man option. They were going to hit that a little bit better. Fair. But then you come back against the Chargers in a must-win game with a team that's terrible at stopping the run and 5.4 yards per carry. And you got Hunt, Shell, Connor, Jones. Now, Teron can't block as much you want, but here's things you could get him to do. And you don't run. Start the game off. It's an impatience. There's something, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's impatience or it's hubris. This vertical game as the only option is going to hurt us. We have to run the football. Now, to McDaniel's defense a little bit, this offensive line has its issues. But if you're facing 5.4 yards per carry on the Chargers defense, and you got Connor, Hunt, Shell, and Jones, run inside zone, run some I, offset I, single back. Let them think you're going to run and then play action. This hurts, guys. And, the talk will be Tua. 2 weeks in a row. Not saying he played great. Not saying that. He cannot carry. Drew Brees couldn't carry. Brady couldn't carry. He's not a carrier. You got to be very mobile. Have a giant arm to really carry. Marino could carry, though. He didn't have the right setup, and he didn't do much in regards of winning Super Bowls. You need the right framework, especially for Tua. He's a system quarterback. How do we get a run game coordinator who doesn't run, who doesn't see 5.4 yards per carry and run at it? Boy genius, saving Tua. But when are we going to start talking about he's got to step up? I like him. I'm sure people are going to hate me for saying what I'm saying, but it's pretty clear, no? It's time to talk about McDaniel getting better at his job. And maybe he's a planner, a strategy guy, and he needs somebody to call better. I don't know. I'll get into the tape more. I'm sorry. This is definitely a rant. Full rant. I apologize because I believe, man, I totally was like, this doesn't make any sense. We would have to wet the bed at an epic level, and we did. This is wetting the bed. This is a flop. Let's hope there's a big bounce back. But it's got to start at the top. And again, I do feel for McDaniel because his hands are kind of tied with this offensive line. But Herbert, his offensive line was beat up, but he's a different kind of quarterback. And I'm not sure if our designers understand that. Certain quarterbacks need better offensive line. Doesn't make him a worse quarterback. Tom Brady, 2 years ago, whatever it was, he won the Super Bowl. Offensive line breaks down. He has problems. It's like 1 + 1. I don't know. All right, guys. Have a good night. It ain't over. We still got we need 2 wins, and we got a chance. Sorry if I'm not super positive here, but I'll get that tomorrow. Curse saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.